first rule of fashion is never wear white after Labor Day. Just kidding, that's dumb. In this video, I want to share with you some rules in fashion that I really just feel like they still need to be kept. I know that there's a lot that we're breaking, for instance, white after Labor Day. You know, there's a lot of rules that are just really outdated and kind of dumb, but there are some that I personally think everyone should try to adhere to, and that's what I would like to talk about in this video. The last rule I have is actually kind of controversial. I would love to know your opinion on it. I'll save that one for last. It's kind of a triggering one, so we'll wait till last, and I want you to know your opinion. There is a rule in fashion called the rule of thirds. So what it means, and it took me a while to understand this because I'm slow, but it basically means don't cut yourself off right in the middle of your body, which would be where your hips are. And if you're like me, your hips tend to be the largest or widest part of your body. So why would you want to cut yourself off there and then attract all your attention to the widest part of your body, creating kind of an imbalance that's not even there? With the rule of thirds, you just want to always remember to keep your body proportionate to thirds. So let's say you're wearing a top and a pair of jeans. If you were to let that top just hang over your jeans, you're gonna cut yourself off at your hips basically, unless it's a crop top or something. But if you tuck it in or do a front tuck or do some kind of tie up or whatever, then you've got 1/3 of your body is this color or this proportion, and the other 2/3 are the bottom proportion. It just always tends to look nicer, more put together, you look better. There's just something about it that creates a balance to the eye in your look. The next rule that I think a lot of people should adhere to is to invest in quality. So I'm not saying run out and spend tons of money on the highest quality items that you can. I'm saying that there are certain categories in your closet that you would probably do better and actually save money if you were to invest in the quality version of that item. So what I'm talking about are two categories of items. The first one are items that you know that you're going to keep for a really long time. Examples of these would be a trench coat or a blazer or a really good pair of jeans. I mean, jeans, you always want them to fit you well, and sometimes that requires more investment. Obviously, you have to look at your lifestyle and see what those things are for you, but those are things that I feel like you'd want to invest in a quality piece, something that's not going to fall apart after a couple washes, you can have for a long time. The other category of items are items that 100% resonate with you and your style. Of course, you need to figure out what your style is first, but you know when you go shopping sometimes, or you're just out and about, maybe you're not even shopping, but you see that item and you see it and you're like, I have to have that. That is me. I'm obsessed with it. It just resonates with me. And maybe everyone else in your party is like, oh, really? I don't like that. Well, that's because it doesn't resonate with them. So those items, I give you permission to invest in. You'll get a better perspective on how much you're spending on your clothes if you look at your cost per wear. So I'll take my favorite jacket, for example, that I paid $300 for. It was about 15 years ago, but let's say that it was only 10 years ago, and let's say I only wear it for 35 days out of the year. That's only about 85 cents per wear for a $300 jacket. So it makes it not seem that expensive in the long run. On the other hand, if you were to buy a $40 shirt and only wear it 5 times, that's $8 per wear. If you add up how many $40 shirts you only wear 5 times, it can get kind of expensive. The next rule that I think everyone should adhere to is to dress for the life that you want. There are a lot of people, and you may know some of them, you may be one of them, who complain that their life is not where they want it to be, or they're not getting promoted, or they're not getting the job that they want, or they're not getting the man that they want. I would encourage you to look and see how you're showing up in the world. If you're trying to find a man, but you go everywhere looking like you don't care about life, then how do you expect someone to even see you? Many people would be triggered right now and say, it only matters what's on the inside that counts, and that's all that matters. And you're right, that should be all that matters, but it's not. You also judge people immediately when they walk up. If you went on a date with a guy and he walked in and he smelled bad and he was wearing his pajamas and he was eating a rat, you would be a little repulsed, would you not? Would you say, you know what, I'm not going to judge him. He smells bad and he's eating a rat, but I'm going to see what he's like on the inside because I bet he's a great guy. No, you would probably be like, wow, this guy has got some serious problems. He doesn't take care of himself. So you would probably exit that date and call the cops. That was a morbidly extreme example. I don't know where that came from, but you know what I mean. You really have to show up how you want people to see you. And the way you want people to see you is who you really are. If you're a vibrant, creative, beautiful person on the inside, show up that way. Learn how to dress yourself so you can show up as yourself, not as a person who has given up on life. So much more I can say on this, but that's a whole nother video. I'll just leave it at that. This next rule is kind of boring, but it is a rule that I think everyone should follow, and that is to stick to flattering styles and not trends. Again, as I've said in other videos, I think you should be aware of trends, and I think trends are fun and a great way to inject some life in your wardrobe if you're bored with your clothes, but ultimately you need to wear what resonates with your personal style, not necessarily what is on trend. I've mentioned this in other videos, and you may have heard this before, but it goes without saying. It's another rule that I think everyone should kind of adhere to. I'm sure there are extenuating circumstances where you would not, but if you're gonna wear something baggy on the top, make it tight on the bottom, or if you're making it tight on the bottom, make it baggy on the top. Now, this is not to be confused with body skimming items. If you're wearing some body skimming jeans and you wear a body skimming top, that's still a lot of balance. You want balance in your look. If you're wearing a baggy top and then baggy bottoms, you're going to look like I did when I was in high school in 9th grade, where I wore very baggy pants and flannel shirts and I sat on the lunchroom floor because I wouldn't conform to those chairs. And I became really preppy in 10th grade. I'm not really sure what happened there. If you're wearing a tight top, you want to generally have a more loose bottom. The exception here is if you are Olivia Newton-John in the 70s and you were in a movie called Grease. She looked amazing in that all-black outfit. I don't know how many people can pull that off, but as a general rule of thumb, you should try to balance those two out. This next one, I would love to know your opinion on, because it's one of those things that I kind of can't believe I'm saying. It's like my 22-year-old self is looking at me and rolling her eyes, but I'm gonna say it. I don't think you should be showing all of your skin when you wear an outfit. If you have a lot of cleavage, maybe cover up the bottom, or if you have a mini skirt on, maybe not have cleavage. Now, the exception to this is if your husband or your man is like, girl, I bought this for you, I want you to wear it, then you know what, you do you, girl, because you know, that's kind of nice too. You're like, okay, I'll wear that for you. But as a regular, just Saturday night or doing my thing, I don't feel like I want to do that anymore. It was okay when I was 21 or 20 or even 25, but not really now. What do you guys think? In general, I feel like one or the other should be covered up. I also feel like it's much more sexier in a sophisticated way when you're only showing one thing, or maybe not either one of those and you're just showing your shoulders or your neck or your ankles or something. How do you feel about that? I would love to know your opinion. I would love to know how women in general feel about that, and not from a jealousy standpoint, because sometimes I know women can look at other women and be like, oh, she shouldn't dress like that, but really they're just kind of jealous because they wish they could dress like that, and that's not where I'm coming from either. So how do you feel about that? What do you think about that questionable rule? I hope you like this video. Let me know what you think. I know there's a lot of things in this video that you might disagree with, and that is 100% okay. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. If you give it a thumbs up if you like my video, a thumbs down if you didn't, I won't be offended. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.